Yeah. Yep, there we go. All righty. Well, everyone, thanks so much for joining tonight. We can take a quick second and we can introduce the folks here within Borough Hall. I'm Mary Ellen Sullivan. I'm chair of the Brooklyn Solid Waste Advisory Board. Great to see everybody tonight.
I'm Matt Savello, chair of the Manhattan Solid Waste.
Pablo Garcia, academic research, member of SWAB.
Maria, I'm
Yep.
Citizen.
Great. Welcome.
Welcome. I'm Lacey Tauber, and I'm the legislative director for Borough President Reynosa.
And I'm Rhonda Kaiser, and I am the vice chair of the Brooklyn SWAB.
All right, terrific. And tonight we are very happy to have Katherine Blauvelt with us. As you can see, her slides are already up on the screen, and she is the executive director of Full Circle Future, an organization with a strong track record of winning stronger regulations to reduce landfill pollution in states like Colorado, Washington, California, and beyond. They've written a great white paper on the Empire State, our fine state. Full Circle Future works alongside community and BIPOC-led organizations and with other people directly impacted by landfills to bring community-driven solution to policymakers. Full Circle Future approaches waste sector transformation from all sides, advancing composting and food waste reduction policies to strengthening landfill operation standards to minimize the harmful emissions of existing landfills. Katherine brings over 25 years of coalition building experience and policy development and has held senior roles in government. Katherine, please take it away. We're really interested in hearing from you.
Oh my gosh, I know we have other speakers here too, so I know I'm holding the mic now.
Okay.
But if there's one thing you guys can take away from this, I'm not trying to be the sage on the stage here, but just acknowledge first and foremost, like you guys have a lot of expertise and have been doing so much work over the years on zero waste. So I just thank you for the opportunity to share. Really, my goal is to give you a shot in the arm on landfills in the state of New York, health impacts, the environmental justice, legacy they're perpetuating, climate impacts, right? So, and just more than anything, we'll try to keep it brief so that y'all can discuss and ask questions and you can hear from other folks. Cool. Okay. So there's so much harm that comes when you burn and bury waste. And there's so much good that happens when you don't do that. And there's just a short list here. It's not all the benefits. And I see some folks like Neve and others in the room, again, that are spending way more time than me in the state of New York and locally working on solutions. You see that kid with that fruit? It's low-hanging fruit. You see what I'm doing there? It does not, we're not talking about like splitting an atom here. The solutions are in reach. And I'll offer the obvious, which is y'all are in a moment here with this new mayor and the draft SWMP. Just a moment to grab, truly. So really excited for you and for what's possible. And the stakes are pretty high. I am curious if y'all are like, oh my God, I'm sick of a social math figure on the Empire State Building. But here you go. This is your annual trash in the city of New York. It's a lot. It weighs a lot, but it can honestly be out of sight, out of mind, right? And the waste industry benefits from that. So let's try to pull that curtain back. Okay, so landfill waste presents many threats. You see that graphic on that side that's made by RMI. It helps give at least a sense of like what problems can happen and are happening at landfills. I'd break it down this way. I mean, you see sort of risks on the other side, right? Landfills are going to create problems. Okay, so that's like point number one. It's like, the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Nature finds a way. These are not highly engineered. You know what I mean? It's not like this beautiful box of materials that we really have. No, right? You guys know the legacy of landfills. it could have been the town dump. Maybe it's lined. Maybe parts of it are lined. Maybe it's not. It's under weather conditions, 365 days a year. The minute you put that waste in the landfill, they're like zombies too, right? The problems are with you for decades. I'll never forget there was a landfill. This was a public presentation by a regulator in California. The last apple core it got was in 1990. They project that sucker is going to be emitting pollution into 2040. So it's just this, oh, it's this legacy. So that's the first condition we have to own and realize is really that true long tail of costs of landfilling. The second is we have a situation where the folks who run landfills are not necessarily incentivized to try to control all the problems. They are making money from taking in trash. And there's a range. I'm not trying to throw everyone under the bus, right? But that is the system, right? And we all know who bears the costs, right, of pollution. Probably not that landfill. So that's an issue. And then the last piece of this, broken chair, if you will, or stool, I guess, is the regulations governing landfills in this country are very inadequate. They rely on an honor system largely, right? So the landfill operators, right, following those rules and self-reporting. The regulations do not pull forward current technology. It's sort of like Windows 2000 time. And that leads to some of the issues you see there, right? So in fact, the EPA did a nationwide enforcement alert, I guess a year ago now, that said there's widespread non-compliance they're finding with current regulations. The state has an opportunity to upgrade their rules. And I'm working with a lot of folks on that. We won't talk about that now, but that's like, I'm just trying to give you a baseline of this is the status quo, you guys. Very concerning. So, okay, always good to, nail some of the key statistics. We have a website. I dropped it in the chat. If it's helpful, this is very, very high level I'm giving you, but if you want to geek out, right, and look at every single landfill in the state, who lives by them, where are we finding, or not we, but where is there large methane plumes being detected, you can go to that website. Again, you got a lot of them. That estimated methane emissions, that's, I think, over 1 million cars driven per year. But really, your landfills are all over New York. They're small, they're big, they're closed, they're open. And just know that in New York and in most states in the country, landfills are actually the largest emitters of methane in industry. They're bigger, right, than oil and gas infrastructure. And when you add them all up, it's a lot of methane. And I will note methane because, first of all, your city's trash has a lot of organic waste. All that in an oxygen-free environment in a landfill turns into methane and other gases. And that is literally the super pollutant that is supercharging our atmosphere, not 100 years from now, but like right flipping now. So that's a problem for the state, obviously. In fact, California did an exhaustive study. Oh my goodness, they funded flights, hundreds of flights across the entire state, and they looked at every single methane source. Dairy farms, oil and gas, natural gas, everybody. And they found that landfills, out of all of those sectors, industry sectors, when they leak methane, it's the worst. I think 10 times on average than oil and gas infrastructure. And those large methane plumes persist longer. And there have been other studies done. As we have this technology now, we're not guessing anymore, right? We can actually see the methane from space, right? There's a comprehensive study, EPA, Carbon Mapper, and some other folks funded that found basically at about half the landfills that they were able to survey across the country, they found very large and significant methane emissions. And this is just a snapshot of, I could have picked others from, let's see, Modern Landfill out in Niagara County of a methane plume found. And then again, just to note the obvious, but it's worth repeating, right? As you guys work as a state and as a city to deal with the catastrophic impacts of climate change, all the written estimates, right, of what's coming out of landfills are probably underestimated. And this is, again, because, those estimates are formulas, right? And they don't account for really important things like some landfills can capture like 20% of their gas, not, 60. Again, there are a lot of studies now that are showing that and suggest that there's a lot more problems out there. But this is where I think we've got to start and stop the conversation, which is methane is a carrier gas. It is not leaving the landfill by itself. And other folks will speak to this more eloquently than me, right? Landfills leak toxic leachate, toxic air pollutants. They're harming the health of nearby communities. You see these carcinogens, benzene, choline. This is really, this elevates it, right, to I think just a issue that deserves everyone's attention. And there's such common sense solutions you guys can support in your SWMP and your ongoing efforts to like stop this problem before it starts. And this, I just want to name, just in New York, you've got a lot of folks living by landfills, a lot. 55% of your landfills in New York are located near communities that are in the 90th percentile for kids under the age of 5. So you got young kids living by landfills. You know how vulnerable they are. About 66% of landfills are near populations where cancer is above average, your state average. Blood pressure, same. Higher blood pressure, higher asthma, right? So you can see the story we're painting here, and it's a terrifying one, honestly. And don't forget, right, this is a statistic that shows, or is about folks that live near a landfill within 5 miles. What about watershed? Even more impacts, right? And then I got to say this, I guess I got this from your city. The amount of waste that New York City's sending to landfills is actually outside the state is growing. So that's just a few states where trash is being exported. Both Virginia and Pennsylvania have particularly challenging environmental justice impacts, right? We see that cumulative impacts and structural racism really living and breathing. So all the statistics I've given you so far don't represent those harms, but they do. They certainly are quite real. So I'm almost done, by the way, and I'm excited to hear from Yvonne and others. But this is just to give you a sense of like, what does it look like to live near a landfill, or what does it look like to be impacted? There's, residents, they can report burning. This is way past, the odor is bad, okay? It smells like garbage. We're talking about like burning eyes, chronic headaches, can't sleep, drinking water is contaminated, kids can't play outside, just it's way beyond quality of life. And as you can see, there can be some devastating health impacts that folks can face. So here's this next slide is a snapshot of a storytelling map that we collaborated on with some folks, again, amazing groups that are in the state of New York. So this is like a screenshot. I'm sorry, it's not great, from that interactive map. And it's just telling again, the story of these cancer rates and how high they are. So basically the darker you see the colors, the higher above the state average cancer rates are. And of course, those dots are landfills, right? So upstate, downstate, all around town, right? Like this is really concerning. And then again, and other folks can speak eloquently to this as well, right? Our rotten foundation of racism, of structurally keeping people out of decision making. Half of folks who are living by a landfill in the state of New York are Black, Indigenous, or person of color. That's an overrepresentation. And this is, again, we zoomed in, but you can see this is Long Island or into Long Island. And again, the heat map simply shows communities with higher than average BIPOC populations. And landfills are, as you guys well know, not the only industry that is impacting those communities. So it's really an urgent issue. The structural just racism is so apparent. And this is, I'm second to last slide, but this keeps me up at night. this is a screenshot from a recent US EPA webinar. Landfills can catch on fire. As you guys know, they can smolder underground. The industry calls it an elevated temperature event. You can drive a truck through the federal regulations when it comes to these fires right now. So we work with folks who live near landfills that are on fire. It is a catastrophe. It's think about remember the Ohio train derailment? Think about that. Think about acute oil spill, right? Like it's terrifying. And in New York, you have landfills that have requested higher operating temperatures. They've requested like, let's allow us to have oxygen in our landfill. There's landfills have no business having oxygen. It's not a good idea. Um, so this is just, I can only talk about it for a minute, but in terms of, I suppose in cost, right? Like you get a landfill on fire, it costs millions and millions of dollars to deal with. I would say the human health impact is first and foremost, right? It takes years to deal with. So it's just, again, like another, we're playing Russian roulette here, and we've got to stop feeding these landfills. And your landfills are filling up. It's quite striking, actually. And again, like anytime you're feeding a landfill or expanding it, the risk goes up, in my opinion, right? They get bigger. You know the kind of materials that are going into landfills now. It does vary, right? But it's certainly exacerbating a problem that we've just gone over is very, very concerning, which is why you need your city to make investments in alternatives. It really is. Once you put that trash in the ground, you see all the different kinds of impacts over many years that you'll see, and that's just very concerning. In the state of New York, your DEC, your state department, holds a lot of control over landfill expansions. And I'm sort of here to stand with you to support them making the right decisions. Okay, so I tried to like blow through that. I hope that was helpful. I'm happy to answer immediate questions, but also really excited to hear from, I think Yvonne's here, maybe Joshua's here, who are incredibly smart on this topic.
Yeah, Yvonne Taylor and Joseph Campbell are here, but certainly I know the SWAB typically has a lot of questions. So if
Great.
a couple folks have some burning questions, let's get to those. But if not, we really want to hear from Yvonne and Joseph.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Wow.
Okay. Real quick, my question. You said that 48 out of the 86 landfills in New York State collect gas. What happens to the rest? They don't collect gas?
Yeah. It's a huge problem. Where is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the state follows federal guidelines. Other states have upgraded how they do things, and they've created stronger regulations. New York hasn't acted on that. So the feds have essentially set the threshold so high, you guys, we're missing a lot of landfills. Like straight off the bat, they do not have to put in a gas collection system. So some don't need it, right? You've got a closed landfill, it's super tiny, right? Like it's just not emitting gas such that you need pipes in the ground. It's not everyone needs them, but you better believe, I'm sure there are landfills in your state right now that need a gas collection system and do not have one.
Okay. All right. So, Basil has one. Yeah. He's like, what information on methane gas emissions do we get from satellites?
We get great information. I'm not trying to plug, but so Carbon Mapper is flying a satellite, I'm sure you know. GHGSat has, but hasn't focused on landfills. On our one of the web links I gave you on Full Circle Future, we pull all those satellite plumes in real time. So because they're taking snapshots every now and then, right? So that's a great way to see what they're finding. They are a snapshot, right? So they're just giving you like on that day, this is what we found. And there have been a number of plumes found over landfill, Seneca Meadows for one, and others in New York. So it's a game changer. And here's what's crazy, y'all. Again, because our regs are like back in the 1970s, landfill operators don't have to respond to those big leaks that are found. It's just not written. they're notified, so hopefully they will do the right thing, right? And go check out, try to find the culprit. But yeah,
Yeah.
got to keep that waste out of that landfill, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone's asking about like the calculation. I'm not sure if we necessarily wanted to get into that, but quick two questions, and then maybe we'll jump to Yvonne and Joseph. Do these trackers also monitor incinerators? And then the other question was, your map includes both active and closed
Yep.
landfills. Could you comment on that? And this is the New York State map.
Yes. Okay, so I'm not good at keeping, I blame my kid who ruined my sleep. Not good at keeping two questions in my head at once. So the first one I remember,
Okay.
what was the first one? Shoot.
First one was incinerators. Do you
Oh
monitor?
yeah. So long and the short of it is incinerators don't show up on, so like if you're detecting from space, it's gotta be a big plume, right? So it's sort of like the biggest. Incinerators, you need something closer to the ground. And the toxins they emit are also a different mixture, less carbon dioxide, more other awful stuff. Gaia and others do an amazing job tracking and publishing. So I'm happy to drop a link in the chat around that. And I know Blarg or Brooklyn, folks fighting the Brookhaven landfill know a lot about this subject too. And then closed landfills, I think the question was like, do we track them or how do they show
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so you see that those are the a lot of, if you go to our website, I should have done a screenshot. I'm sorry. We do differentiate so you can see all of them, open and closed. Just so you guys, like generally speaking, it really just depends on the landfill, right? Like if it's a big landfill and it's closed, like I would say Brookhaven, of course, needs to close. That landfill is going to be a concern for many years to come. So you gotta, in other words, like don't think closed, everything's okay. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks so much for that. All right. Next, I want to bring up Yvonne and Joseph. Yvonne Taylor and Joseph Campbell are from the Seneca Lake Guardian and have direct experience about what it's like to live within the Seneca Meadows landfill community. So Yvonne and Joseph, if you want to say a few words and maybe even talk a little bit about, I know you work with Katherine, if you want to talk a little bit about how all that comes together.
Yes. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see you all, and thank you so much for having us. And it's good to see you too, Catherine. We've been working shoulder to shoulder on the issue of landfills in the state for several months now, several months now. And I actually wasn't prepared to speak, but I can just tell you a little bit about Seneca Meadows landfill, which is the state's largest landfill. 30% of the waste that we receive comes from New York City. We take a total of 6,000 tons of garbage into our community every single day. And this landfill was supposed to be full and close on New Year's Eve this year. So December 31st, 2025, it was supposed to reach capacity and it was supposed to be full and it was supposed to close. But instead, what the landfill is doing is it's reducing the amount of waste it's accepting while it awaits a permitting decision to expand this landfill to turn it into a mountain of garbage that is going to be 47 acres wider than it already is, 7 stories taller than it already is, and operate through 2040. We have been fighting that proposal tooth and nail for, I believe, 4 years now. And the reason that we are fighting it so vigorously is that it's already a mountain of garbage that is causing, as Katherine pointed out, cancer clusters, lung cancer clusters that are 30 to 35% higher than state and national averages. The community around this landfill is in the 98th percentile in New York State for persons having one or more disabilities, and in the 90th percentile for emergency department trips related to COPD or lung-related issues. Premature deaths far outpace state and national averages. Every single school in our community is within 3 miles of this landfill. And believe it or not, the school buses are parked at the landfill overnight and are picking up the children in encapsulated toxic gases on their way to school. They arrive at school and the buildings themselves are permeated with landfill odors to the point where children have difficulty concentrating. Sometimes their parents have to come and get them and to bring them home when they're too sick. Teachers are also obviously experiencing these same problems. The larger employers in our area are having difficulty recruiting and retaining employees. Because no one wants to raise their family near this landfill. So some of the employers that have, offer far more jobs than this landfill do can't get people to work for them. And not only that, but you guys give to us, and then unfortunately we give back to you in the form of PFAS-laden toxic leachate that's produced at nearly 60 million gallons a year. And then we send it back to sewage treatment plants that don't have any mechanism for removing these toxic chemicals before they go into the Mohawk and the Hudson rivers, the Niagara River, Lake Ontario. So it's a huge problem. There's no away and throw away, and it doesn't just affect our community. It affects everyone in New York State. And this landfill has been identified as the largest single point source of methane emissions in New York. So if you're concerned about climate, this is a huge climate killer. So we're vigorously trying to fight the expansion of this by working with folks in New York City and others across the state to help the state implement its own solid waste management plan, which was released in 2023, and help New York City also implement a robust solid waste management plan that would be embracing zero waste and a circular economy, so that we're not poisoning communities across New York.
Thank you very much, Ivana and Joseph. I can't, it's hard to process it at all. It's very difficult. Katherine, you did mention during your conversation with us that there were some common sense solutions that you thought New York State could implement, perhaps even New York City. And you also talked about how you've been working with Seneca Meadows. Could you talk a little bit about some of the policy topics that we could work on, and that also maybe that you're working on with Yvonne and Joseph and Yvonne?
Yeah, I don't want to this is where I'm like, shoot, if we were only in the room together and we could I'm in 2D in my guest room. I want to make sure we're talking about policies that are relevant to y'all. It seems like I think Neve's in the room. I mean, you all are like incredibly smart. I tried to read up on you. But anything you can do to keep that waste out of that landfill is in bounds. And you have a solid waste management plan to react to, right? To ask your city to absolutely not send trash to these landfills, and instead, frankly, create a lot of good in terms of jobs or compost or not wasting precious resources by not creating that waste in the first place, right? So, would anyone like to take the mic to talk about those solutions? Because I don't want to show up as your out of stater telling you
what
those are.
Neve, if you're on and want to jump in, that would be great too.
Oh yeah. Sure. I'll try think on the top of my head in terms of the food side of things, of how we're focusing on getting food out of the landfill. I know I've spoken to many folks on here about this before, but we are one of the priorities for environmental advocates in New York, who I work for, is the Food Date Labeling Act. That piece of legislation number is S7618/A7291. And that would essentially regulate food date labels so that we can mitigate food that's being wasted as a result of confusion around what these labels actually mean. So we know about 20% of this food waste is caused by confusion around these labels. So if we just stopped putting freshest by, consume on, packaged on, shelved on, if we just stop that and then we just use best if used by or used by, that's such a simple change that we can make to have a bigger than impact. To be clear for any folks who are on here, this is not mandatory. It's if you decide to use labels. If you don't use labels, you're perfectly fine. So this is not a mandate. Happy to talk more about other waste things we're working on, but I also don't want to hog the mic. We've got right to refill as well. That's on our action agenda this year. So happy to give more details, but I'm sure there's plenty other ideas people want to share.
Okay, great. Thanks for being cold called and speaking with us. So appreciate it.
You guys know the solutions, I swear, right? Like, and what's exciting about this issue, I mean, exciting, right? But I mean, it is like, we can do this. This is totally possible. There is usually a pretty small amount of actors that are benefiting from the current system. I don't think anyone woke up and was like, let's spend $20 billion, right, to create all this harm across the country, right? We can do better, right? So there's just like locally, all the way up to the state level, as Eve was saying, solutions that can just change the status quo to the better. Great community composting happening. I know y'all had a big deal curbside rollout, right? There's a ton that can happen in the schools, right? Like, so, man, is it possible?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Michael.
Yeah, I think that one of our biggest problem down here is participation, right? And I think actually, telling the story is a really powerful way to encourage participation, because I think people don't know. People are still thinking about a way. It's a way, right? It's not anybody in particular. And telling the personal stories of people who live in that mythical place called a way, I think brings it home and makes it relatable to people why they should recycle more and waste less.
I mean, containerization certainly doesn't help that, because it's going away right in front of our eyes, right? It's a false solution.
And it does, we're not making up that it does directly harm you. You know what I mean? Right? Like there is the, we work with enough folks who, let me put it this way, right? Like we all want clean water. We all want clean water. Landfills really present a direct and imminent threat to that. But PFAS, is just a tip of the iceberg. So, but to your point, right? Like that's a great opportunity for the city, for your boroughs, right? To invest in education. Again, the good news is like there's a ton of states have done this, right? Have rolled out engagement programs, right? And hopefully the more local, the better, right? Like empower folks that really know the community to deliver that engagement. Folks want to do the right thing. It's also a function of being given that infrastructure to do the right thing, right?
Yep.
So,
excellent.
I love that call out. People want to.
All right. Thank you, Michael. And are there any states that you think that New York should look to in terms of those that have good landfill?
Yeah.
There we go. Kimberly and I have the same question.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. Need, do you have an opinion or anyone else? Again, I want to be like, y'all are smart, so.
You are.
If I'm recalling correctly, I think Washington are doing some great things. There who come to mind for me.
Colorado and Washington, is that?
State of Washington in terms of like preventing waste today and keeping it out of the landfill and incinerators. they essentially looked at this, like just passed a year or two ago, but California and, Massachusetts, there's some other, over here is Massachusetts, just so you know, and here's California. So they sort of drew from all the states that have put policies together and tried to like 3.0 it. So that's a great one. Tacoma, Seattle, Washington, right? Like, yeah, they're doing great work. In terms of landfill operators, funny story, some landfills that are doing the right thing is because they're under a court order to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I have worked with sometimes municipally owned landfill operators, right? And because of the leadership or want to be more responsive to the community. So it is true, just for the record, that a lot of the technologies and a lot of the practices that would help mitigate landfill pollution are in play today, right? They're at landfills. And you have the landfill industry lobby fighting any kind of regulation, any kind of requirement, right? So it all just leads back to the same period at the end of the sentence, which is at all costs, don't put that trash in the landfill and don't expand that landfill. Don't do it. Don't do it. And it's decades, you guys. It's just decades of harm. You can't take that back.
Yeah, the gift that doesn't stop giving.
Yeah. Oh, I love, if I can call out, I'm finally looking at the chat. I apologize, but Maggie just made a really good point. Yes, we don't do life cycle analyses. Yes. Shout out to that. So that's, but the earth doesn't care, right? Like the earth is like, well, like it's gonna have the real reaction and show the real true cost, as will human beings.
Yeah, right. I mean, and also to talk about diversion and better capture rates and all that stuff is sort of peer shaming, right? We're not asking for the packaging to be made the way it's made for our food stuff, right?
Well said.
We're not asking for that stuff. We are asking for the system. It's a systemic problem. It's not going to be solved by me putting my potato chips bags in the right place. It's going to be solved by getting down to the, let's pass that freaking Packaging Reduction Act in New York State. That's going to help a lot. And especially let's pass it and let's get the red tape out of the way so that they can start in on it.
Do you folks see opportunity with the new mayor, right? Or,
yes.
I mean, maybe this isn't a two-way, but yeah, sorry. I have to ask.
Early days, but certainly people are hopeful. Yeah. But again, some of the, the EPR or the PRRIA, that's definitely more at the state level. So that would be going to the governor and the people in the assembly and the Senate. So
he was a supporter of that.
He was
when we were making the calls.
Okay.
Mom Donnie.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. There was some. I want to say it was Gaia did a study, and there have been others. Like, if you don't landfill, let's see, it's like 6 to 11 times more jobs. It's intuitive, right? You like dump a piece of in a landfill versus you actually do something good with it, or you change it, or you're also working to prevent that waste again. So I don't want to come across as like jobs. It's just like another way to name the like, hey, we could be doing something and differently that would also help us all.
Also more revenue, like Dan, what's his name? Dan from Urban Ore. Dan is very quick to point out that there's more revenue. There's taxes. If you're pulling it out, you're reselling it, you're gonna be paying the people who are earning wages on selling the stuff.
They get money for taking materials off the tipping floor.
Yeah, they get paid the same amount as a tipping floor, but they also like the people's wages who are involved in harvesting that out of the path to the landfill, and then sales tax.
Right.
And if someone's fixing it, those person's wages. It's just more. All you're paying is the person in the wasting industry. Just take it away.
Do you guys remember when there used to be, I'm old enough, I remember this, newspaper recycling plants? I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's a pizza box and cardboard box recycling facility in New York and Staten Island. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we recycle a lot of paper, and we're pretty good paper recyclers.
Yeah.
We're good
Yeah.
at metal, somewhat on plastics, but we're terrible on food scraps, and that's really your big generator in landfills.
50%. 50%, you guys. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to quit wasting the food first and then get it to the right place.
Yeah.
I know you take landfill material from other states. Do you get anything from Canada?
Does your state of New York?
In other words, does Canada send anything to Seneca?
Oh, yeah. Question for Yvonne.
Yes, it does. We take in waste from 47 counties, 4 states, and Canada.
More states if you count the construction demolition debris and sludge. We take sludge.
So
take a lot of biosolids. Sludge.
So if we passed all the right laws, we'd still have to worry about other countries and other states.
Yeah.
Right, but we would set a precedent. We would set a nice tone.
As New York City throws, so does the rest of the world. We are a model for the rest of them. We do the right thing.
Right.
You're in the C40. I 100% my dad's from New York. He's also dead. But anyway, I'm in Minnesota. And we totally talk about y'all and your landmark climate bill from way back when, right? Down to the moves New York City has made recently. Yeah, so 100% on that. I do want to note, like, Waste Connections owns Seneca Meadows and a bunch of other landfills. They're $8-9 billion company. They also do business in Canada. WM, another huge Republic. It's almost $100 billion industry. Okay. And they want larger landfills, more money, right? So let's just name, and they've been, working that publicly traded route, as they like to say, their EBITDA is great. And we are paying a lot of the costs that they are not bearing. And they can afford it. They can afford to do things differently. And conversely, we are missing so much homegrown, local, community-led initiatives to these just couple waste haulers that are, they're just doing it for the profit, as you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, our whole economy is based on profit max. So there we go.
Maybe we could build data centers, landfills.
Oh my God, that's worse. I mean, seriously, like it's like I toured Blarg. I toured the Brookhaven landfill, and they're trying to build a data center out there because they couldn't expand the landfill. How did that work, Catherine? It was like
you can't build a data center.
They're not doing it on a landfill. They're doing it in this area that they cleared
next to the landfill.
Still can't. It's
well, the plans are. I mean, it's not for me. I didn't make it up.
To be honest with you, no one is to put valuable computer hardware next to a landfill when we're killing people, because this is how screwed up we are with these things. I don't think anyone would ever do that.
Well, you should go out and talk to the city council out there. Maybe
this is the problem with our thinking. One of the things about the landfill operators is it's varying degrees of incompetence and terrible management of these landfills, but it's really our responsibility as a society to get control of our consumption and disposal patterns in such a way that we start to push them out of as being a viable solution.
Yeah.
It's really, like we look at our own solid waste management plan in New York City. There's a lot we could be doing, and we're not doing it. So we got to get our collective, together and figure this out. So.
Jimmy Carter, move over.
Yeah. Allison, you've got a question?
Yeah, I do. Just like we're saying, there's so much more that has to be done. And I recently made the connection between, this holiday movie It's a Wonderful Life and Seneca Falls. And I said,
Oh yeah.
Seneca Meadows. And so I was thinking about that and emailing people. And then a week later, CBS Sunday Morning did that segment on that exact subject. And it was like a nice long segment. And I was like, or I wonder if they're going to mention the landfill. And they actually did. And
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. But as far as what we can do, we need more Ted Koppels and more investigative reporters to get this on the air, because I think a story like that, we should be sharing it far and wide. I mean, Yvonne, I get, that's probably more up your alley as far as, are you in touch with Ted Koppel and is he interested in more? And how do we get more investigative journalism on all of these locations? Because the story isn't being told and our microphones don't compare to theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Oh, well, we met with Ted Koppel. Our community met with Ted Koppel when he was here in Seneca Falls, and we were trying to help him understand the parallels between, the Bedford Falls in the movie and versus Pottersville, which is, the evil community, and how that really does mirror what's happening in our community with the landfill and the owners of the landfill. And he said, no, this is just a feel-good piece about Bedford Falls in the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Well, I guess he must have gone back and thought about it, because he did a great job covering it, and we're in communication with his producer to try and do a more extensive story.
Okay.
But yeah, we need to shout at the rooftops about this and help people understand.
Terrific. And if Track NYC Trash can help depict that for anybody, that'd be great too.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Amazing. And Katherine shared the piece in the chat, and also we shared it. I shared it over the holidays.
You did,
so
yeah.
If anybody wants to find it in there.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Sorry, I also shared there's a Bloomberg investigative piece that broke this summer around landfill fires, elevated temperature events. And you have to FOIA everything, right? Like we need sunshine on this. So that's it desperately, but I also want y'all, right? Like we don't have to do a ton of fancy solution. You know what I mean? Like this is if any problem can be solved, it is this problem. And we don't have to let perfect be the enemy of the good. There's it's not going to be a silver bullet. And we all have a personal relationship with trash, and we all have systems that are in front of us that we can ask to have change. So I was like, Mary Ellen, thank you so much for inviting us, because it's like, you guys are in a great position to like hold that ground, right? Like, ask for those solutions, deal with those policymakers who will disappoint us, and we will ask again. And don't forget, this is a climate angle, which isn't, but methane has a positive feedback loop, right? So if you prevent that methane from hitting the atmosphere, it helps slow the rate of global warming. So there's just like, gosh, you can do a lot of good. I'm so grateful you guys want to do it.
Oh, thank you for saying that. And it's been a great conversation. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Yvonne and Joseph, for coming and sharing your perspectives. They've been really very impactful. And Neve, thanks for cold calling. And yeah, we need the political will to force decision makers to change our current solid waste management system into zero waste 100, 1,000 million%. So yeah, thank you so much. And if anybody has any final comments or questions.
If I had one word to say, I would say compost.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Compost. The city of Geneva on the north end of Seneca Lake is and they have a pilot program going where they are collecting compost. The municipality is collecting the compost. Basically, it's called vermicomposting, right? And basically what it is a concrete ditch, and they inoculate it with worms. It's such, I mean, this is like so low tech, you can't even, And what comes out at the end is this beautiful black humus that you can amend soil with and grow things, and it's a really beautiful cycle of taking probably the primary reason methane is generated in landfills is the organics, right? So take that out of the loop, and that's got to help, with the production of methane.
Terrific.
Please put that in your testimony.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. And Neve, you've got something too. Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just one quick thing. If any folks are interested in looking into how we're stopping food waste from getting to landfills to begin with, we have formed a group called the New York Food Waste Action Network. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for folks to join. Catherine's on those calls. There's a couple other folks that are on there. We're formally launching our website hopefully in the next 2 weeks. So any questions, feel free to fill out this link or contact me.
That sounds terrific, Neve. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, very good. All right, well, Katherine, Joseph, and Yvonne, you are absolutely more than welcome to stay for the rest of our SWAB hearing or meeting. Sorry. And Bronwyn, good night. Thanks for joining. But I also recognize you've got the rest of your evening to look to, maybe even dinner to eat. So, but we appreciate you, and we appreciate you coming here and sharing your perspectives with us. It's been a tremendous education. And thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Really great. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I think we are now going to the rest of our agenda. I've sent it out. So yes, we had that great discussion. And now next up, we're going to hear from Lacey about an update from BP Reynosa's office.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. I don't really have a lot this month. I think we're just in a very transitional time, obviously. We are finalizing our comments on the solid waste management plan and looking forward to your hearing on the 12th and encourage everyone to come to that. And, keeping our eye on all these new appointments and opportunities for advocacy over and who the new sanitation chair will be, and all these things that, will be decided in the next month or so, and, more next time, I think.
All right. Great. Good stuff. Thank you. All righty. Next up, coalition updates. We had Save Our Compost. I know.
Sorry, can I say one more thing?
Yes, please.
I know that we have done some outreach with community boards, and I just want to encourage folks to consider applying for your community board if you have not done so already. The application is on our website, and it's open through, I believe, February 6th. So you still have about a month to do it. Please take a look at that. We would love to get more people who care about trash onto the board.
I have to say that is, I 100% support that. Betty Fibush and I are both on community board too, and there are not a lot of people besides the two of us really who are really into waste policy issues. So, and Beth, I know you're fighting the good fight, and Kendall, you are as well. So please, if anybody has a strong inclination, think about joining your community board. But don't stop coming to the SWAB. The SWAB is the priority. I just want everybody to know. All right, well, thank you so much. Save Our Compost. I know Sherry provided us some updates, but I think primarily she was saying that they've been debating the swamp. They're debating whether or not they're going to do testimony. I think that is the major issue. They're also in a holding pattern because sanitation chair is going to switch, and they don't know how things are going to proceed with funding. But the current funding goes in place through the fiscal year, so that would be through June. So I think things are in process. I don't know if anybody has anything else that they want to share. All right. Next up, a reusable NYC. I don't know if Uli is on. I know that they may be canceling some of the meetings, so I'm not really sure if there's anything to update.
Uli is not here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I
don't think unless there was a mystery phone number, but that person's gone too.
Yeah, I did get a message yesterday from Matt from Reusable NYC saying the meeting was canceled, and I think the one in December was too. So I think we'll have to wait until February for an update there. Next up on the executive committee, now that I believe we have quorum, I want to take a second to check whether or not everyone's had an opportunity to take a look at the December minutes. And also, is there anyone who wants to make a motion for us to vote on the December minutes?
Oh. I make a motion to vote on the December.
All right. Minutes. Thank you, Pablo. Do you have a second? Rhonda, have a second. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Let's take a vote on the minutes. All in favor of approving the minutes, please raise your hand.
Okay, we have a majority of members who are here raising their hands.
All right, terrific. Thank you very much. So the meeting minutes have passed.
But you should ask for the no's and abstains anyway.
Okay, thank you so much. Does anyone vote no in terms of accepting the meeting minutes? Okay, anybody abstain? Okay, hearing none, seeing none, I believe that the minutes have passed. So we will take that and move on. All right, in terms of the executive committee, the big news out of our side is we have a hearing on January 12th. We have the room here at Brooklyn Borough Hall. We are also running it hybrid. So we will be providing information on the link and a calendar detail, but we've been sending out information about it. I think we started before the holidays and we have begun the push today. We are being joined in this effort by the Manhattan SWAB, so it will be a joint Manhattan and Brooklyn SWAB public hearing on the solid waste management plan. So if you have any strong desires to testify, sign up. You do not have to prepare anything in advance. You don't have to submit anything in advance, but we do ask that you come and read it into the public record. If you want to submit it after the fact, that will be absolutely acceptable. If you want us to transcribe it from an audio recording, we can do that as well. So we are really just very interested in making it as collaborative as possible. And thank you very much, Jason, for putting in information about signing up. And Jason, if you have the link to the registration form and can drop it in the chat, maybe you've already done so, but that would be wonderful too. So sorry to put you on the spot, Jason, but thank you.
I think Jason stepped out, Mary Ellen. He left an outreach update in the trash. I mean, in the trash, in the chat. Trash chat. Same word in my brain. Yes, but I can put that link in the chat.
All right, thank you, Beth. All right, that's terrific. Let's see. And I think there's also a sign up to testify in the agenda as well. So the link highlighted in yellow is your ability to sign up to testify. It'll take you to a Google form where you can just register to testify, and then you'll get a calendar link, and we'll be sending you information details about that. And Neve, if you want to testify as well, that would be terrific. No pressure, but we would love to have you. Let's see. Anything else on the executive committee, Beth, Rhonda?
No, I don't think so. What do you think?
Okay. Maggie, it's 2 to 5 minutes in terms of ability to read testimony into the record. Yep. The executive committee is going to review the minutes. No, I'm sorry, not review the minutes. Review the bylaws at our next meeting, which is going to be sometime next week. We may switch it up because of the hearing, but then we're going to have an open meeting of kind of the ad hoc bylaws committee. We'll announce it either at the end of January or in February, and we'll invite feedback from all the Brooklyn SWAB members in this meeting. And then once we make it through Brooklyn SWAB member feedback, then we'll bring the updated bylaws to the SWAB in general for a full vote. So more to come on that. Next up, legislative. I know Bella had to leave early. Bella is the new head of legislative committee from the Brooklyn side. And the big thing there is working on testimony. We are just waiting for a final draft, and then we'll convene the legislative committee to look through it, have some comments. I would imagine we're probably striving for a finished copy January 13th or 14th, which we will then share with the full SWAB for a vote. But again, we'll have a legislative committee sometime before that. Again, it's super compressed. We're trying to do the hearing and the testimony all at the same time. So please bear with us as we're trying to do it, but we will have a legislative committee meeting, and then we will have a vote on the testimony as well. So more to come on that one. We're just all like fully strapping in after the holidays. So watch your emails. We'll be getting information. And then in terms of the outreach committee, Beth, can I put you on the spot? And if you want to read Jason's update into the record?
I can read Jason's update. He says, if anyone is interested in getting involved with all things outreach committee, he would love to hear from you. And his email is in the chat. If you're in the room, it's Jason S. Ginsberg, GINSBERG @gmail. And he said, right now we're focused on meeting with the DOE later this month to explore educational opportunities with Brooklyn schools and the ongoing containerization pilot. Also supporting Brooklyn SWAB outreach ahead of Monday swamp hearing, and expanding the Track NYC trash tools with a new rat sighting tracker, which is coming soon. So those are the big updates from Jason.
All right. Good stuff. All right. Terrific. And next up, Organics Committee. Allison, if you're still here and want to provide an update.
Yep, I'm here, and I just wanted to add something. I guess Jason didn't mention. I don't know if he shared well, maybe you guys saw it, the November compost data from this great tracker. So citywide, the capture rate in November was 10.8%. And in Brooklyn, it was 9%. So it's pretty exciting that we've gotten over 10%. Obviously, there's probably holiday waste and pumpkins contributing, more than usual, more than any other month. So we'll see what happens in the first quarter of next year. And then I guess, I guess our next meeting is next Monday, but now that it's the hearing, I may have to I have to reschedule it or cancel it. So anybody who's on that on that committee, just stay tuned, because I don't think we're going to meet next Monday. And we always want to hear if there are any if you guys are having any problems with composting, any new problems that you've encountered. What I encountered was snow really impacted not only trash collection, but organics collection. But, the organics collection just becomes a mess. So I don't know if anybody else has had any observations about the composting in their building, how it's working in your buildings. If not, that's fine, but just checking, as I always do. And did you at your holiday gatherings, were you all, your friends and family, all composting?
Yeah, some did, and they are wowed by the fact that their trash goes down significantly if they compost. So that's typically the response.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I have so much less. Yeah. So, but yeah, they also have said that they only get it 1 day a week at their building. This was in Manhattan. So if it's stinky, they have to go and take it to find an orange bin and get rid of it because they're only allowed 1 day.
You know, just like I just said about the snow, that problem is exacerbated if we get a lot of snow, because mine sat out there for like 10 days.
Yeah, yeah.
There were our bins are overflowing, so it was just a huge mess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and a quick update on that. I know that Gail Brewer has legislation in place that would require 311 to have buildings not offering compost as a complaint that people would be able to register through 311. So hopefully it'll get reinstated in the coming year.
Oh, they took it off?
I don't know. It was a 2025, so I don't know if it automatically carries over.
All of the bills need to get reintroduced into the next term.
Yeah.
So they'll all have different numbers, so that'll be fun. Yeah, and there is no information yet about like what that process will look like or how long it will take because there is no speaker even until later this week. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to talk to Jason about adding that 311, complaint information to open data because that would be good to see too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Good stuff.
So that's something to note. Like if you're talking about bills, they're all going to have new numbers.
Yeah.
Soon.
Very soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And just a quick reminder, Mulch Fest is going on. So everybody, you can just Google Mulch Fest and you can find the closest location if you have a Christmas tree, if this is relevant for you. Or you can be like some random unusual people in my neighborhood. I'm not saying names. It's me who takes Christmas trees and drags them to the Mulch Fest locations. It's a great workout.
I was going to ask you how you get it there because this is my second time having a tree, and then I realized so the tree place let me borrow their cart to get it to my house.
Okay.
And then I realized I didn't think about how I'm going to get it out of my house.
Yeah. I just drag it along the sidewalk. And,
Yeah.
I did
that when my daughter was little. We used to do it ourselves.
Just bring the Clydesdale.
Yeah.
The Christmas.
So yeah. So there we go. You can self-identify as a big waste proponent, but that's okay. I've only had positive statements so far, so who knows? All righty. What else? NYCHA committee. That's happening at me.
Imagine you just dragging trees.
Is Suzanne here? And is anyone able to do a NYCHA committee update?
She is not here.
Oh no.
I could do something.
Allison.
I could do it up Ed or Allison. I don't know, one of us. So essentially, I think we're working on a food scrap drop-off voluntary program involving a food donation organization in the city who will help maintain some brown bins in one or two campuses. This is moving along. I wish I had more details because I just can't remember them, but this is very promising. And we are sort of giving news a couple of other things, but off the top of my head, I can't.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks for the update. Let's see. So let's go into announcements and open floor discussion. As usual, we're just letting people know that Master Composter certification course information is available if people are interested. And just real quick, on January 24th from 4 to 7, Big Reuse is going to hold an opening party for their second store in Bushwick. Again, guess what? I'm putting a sign up of notification that you can sign up to testify for our hearing on January 12th. And this weekend, Bed-Stuy Cleanup is holding their final winter cleanup, January 10th at 11 a.m. No RSVP required. Just show up at the corners of Fulton and Rockaway. They'll provide all the materials that you need. So Anybody else? Any other events people want to share or announce?
Yeah, I got a few.
Okay, excellent.
Sanitation Foundation Trash Academy is coming up.
Okay.
Apply now. EPR, the EPA is doing a roundtable on batteries coming up on February 10th.
Okay.
Sign up. And the last thing I have is that Paint Care is looking for a few locations to do paint collections. We need a big space where we can, bring in trucks and where cars can line up where we can print stuff. So, and the other thing is that we need a 90-day lead time. So at the minimum 90 days.
Okay.
So if you have any suggestions, please contact me, Michael Reeser.
Okay.
I'm on the spot.
So is it for 90-day lead time? But are you looking for the year long kind of?
Yeah, we would like to do them before summer.
Okay. I'm connected to a lot of school rummages, and it's kind of a good time. School, they love when you add something else to a rummage. Then they'll bring their clothes and their paint, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing."
Okay, yeah, it's a lot more involved than the e-waste collection, for example. But that would be great.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'll be in touch.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And anyone else?
Yeah. Yeah. Someone had a question about whether or not New York Cares can volunteer at NYCHA facilities. I don't know if that's anything people know about.
I think they may already be involved.
Okay, they may already be involved. Okay.
Who else?
I think it was further up. It was
me. I asked the question. There was a comment about I thought the comment was needing volunteers, and so I just suggested maybe signing up with New York Cares to have them have a standing volunteer slot, because I volunteer a lot through New York Cares, and that's how I find out about things to volunteer for.
Okay, so now I understand. So yeah, I think we should look into that because there would be a good fit for what we're trying to do. But I'll check and I'll get back.
Okay.
So they have set up a volunteer organization. And I know AmeriCorps does night shift.
Yeah.
Okay, so it could be already that AmeriCorps got it covered.
Well, for night shift, they have their own program, but the mayor's program I think is separate. That's for
do it for what we're doing. Like there is like between food donation and food scrap coordination and bin management, and there is room for that. So we'll have to.
And I think AmeriCorps sponsored the Green Team.
Yeah, the
Green Force.
Oh, Green City Force.
Oh yeah, they're right. Yeah, Green City. But that's like a youth training program.
Yeah.
For employment.
Okay.
So less for volunteers.
Okay. Excellent.
But they've been hit with federal cutbacks.
Well, yeah.
It's been fit, so we just have
Terrible.
to try to make
that.
Okay. Maggie, I was gonna read out your comment, but please, you got your hand raised. Go for it. Oh, you're on mute.
Always. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to pass along, the long-range planning committee of the Manhattan SWAB has been working on long-range planning for 10 years. And we've written all kinds of things, everything from participation to organics to reuse, everything, because I've noticed it seems that we focus on little things and we like to have a complete view and make complete recommendations for what should happen. And that's why I put up that pie chart earlier, which is what we work off of. And whenever we're thinking of a solution, how does it fit into this pie chart?
Okay, great. And if anybody wants a starting point, I guess if they want to testify, Maggie, would you be open to people leveraging this document for testifying if they wanted a starting point or for some information?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
And
terrific.
we have other information. You know, we've got fact sheets, we've got prior testimony. You know, so yeah, that's why I was asking how long, you know, can one talk?
Okay. All right, terrific.
You
All
can
right.
submit a longer document.
Yeah,
than you
exactly.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the short document. This is 5 pages, you know.
Okay. All right, good stuff.
We all have to be like Lacey, who made short comments at the city council hearing and said, I've got a longer comments that I'm going to submit written, but this is all I have.
Well, they don't give me that much time.
I know.
Yeah. All right. All right, great. Anything else? Thank you, Michael, for adding in the
yeah, those are
your
great
information.
Yeah.
I know, and so somebody put those links in the chat as Michael was talking, didn't they?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll get those.
All right, terrific. All right, thanks so much. Well, unless we've got any further questions, I think this might be a wrap.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, so I look forward to seeing everybody again on January 12th when you all come and testify here at the Brooklyn Borough Hall or via Zoom. So so looking forward to it. Thanks so much, and I hope everybody has a great night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.